Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Laura the Driving Coach. So I'm here today to talk about speed, especially speed during your road test. This is something that I get asked a lot about. I get asked, what speed should I go? Do I have to really follow the speed limits? Do I want to drive really slow? Should I go a little bit over? What's the proper speed to use? First of all, you want to figure out what the speed limit is, right? So we're always talking about New York State road tests when I'm discussing any of my videos, okay, because I don't do road tests in other states, so I don't really know what the speed limits are and what you would have to do on a road test in other states. But I would kind of assume that you would not want to go over a road test in another state, just because in New York we don't do that. So one thing is you want to know what the speed limit is. So if you are driving or taking a road test in the 5 boroughs, the general speed limit in the 5 boroughs is 25 miles an hour unless otherwise posted. Okay, so that means if you see a sign that says 30 or you see a sign that says 15, then that's the speed limit that you go. Okay? If you are either in Long Island or upstate, the general rule for the speed limit is it's 30 miles an hour unless otherwise posted. So the same thing would have an effect. If it's lower, you would have to go lower. If it's higher, you could go a little bit higher. And you want to kind of get close to it, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing maneuvers or something, obviously you're not going to be going 25 if you're about to come up to do a parallel park. But if you're just driving down the road, you got a 25 mile per hour speed limit, you want to stay something close to it. You don't want to go too far under, so you don't want to be just driving down a road and going 15 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour, thinking, oh, I have to go ultra slow for the inspectors. They're not looking for that. They want to see that you're driving the speed of traffic because they don't want to see you impeding traffic either. And if you're going too slow, you're going to be impeding the traffic flow, right? All right, another thing is, do you want to go too fast? Can you go a little bit over? Obviously, they don't want you going over the speed limit because think of it this way. Anything you get a ticket for, you can fail your road test for. I went over that in another video on automatic failures on your road test. I'm actually going to put a little card at the top right here to insert that so you can check that one out too. But basically is that you don't want to break the law in any way, and going over the speed limit would be breaking the law. Okay, what about maneuvers now? Maneuvers. So when you're doing a maneuver, should I go really slow when I'm doing it? Right? You don't want to be flying through a maneuver. So maneuver, I'm talking about doing a parallel park or doing a 3-point turn, right? You don't want to be taking grandma steps, taking your time, going really slow, looking around you forever, the car's barely moving, nothing like that, right? They want to see, hey, you know what you're doing. In other words, on the other hand, though, you don't want to be flying through maneuver. You don't want to be like, sometimes you see people in their busy area and they do a parallel park and they kind of fly back really quick, right, to try to get into that spot because maybe they see traffic coming. No, you want to take your time when you're doing it, but at the same time, you don't want to be impeding the traffic, right? You don't want to take too long, you don't want to go too fast doing it. Same thing with the 3-point turn. You want to always take your time to make sure that you're completely clear. Okay, what about hazardous weather conditions? What about if it's raining out? First of all, will they still give you the road test if it's raining out? Yes, they will. Okay, it has to be like a hurricane or something for them to really say, okay, it's too dangerous to do this. But in the rain, general rule, even if it's raining pretty hard, they will still give you the road test, so it is good to practice in the rain and inclement weather before you go into your road test, so you're not so nervous if it does start raining, especially if it starts raining hard and you've never practiced in that before. I actually knew a story when I was teaching on Long Island. One of my coworkers, their student had to go out and do the road test, and it was torrential downpour. And then the student was going really, really slow and very nervous, and the inspector asked her, said, did you ever drive in the rain before? And the student said, no, I never drove in the rain before. He took her right back and failed her. He said, I can't have you out there. So a better response, I would have maybe said, oh, no, just not this hard. I'm just a little nervous because it's raining really hard. So it's good to have practice in the rain because they don't want to see you out there in inclement weather. It's like, why did you never get any practice in the rain, right? So they're going to feel like it's really dangerous for that person to go out there. I don't really know the reasoning why she failed her because she said she never drove in the rain before. But that's what happened in that road test in Long Island. Not to say that every inspector would ask that and every inspector would do that, but it's definitely good to get practice. That being said, if it is inclement weather, yes, you want to go a little bit slower. Okay, you don't want to be flying down the streets. Remember, the road is wet, especially if it's just starting to rain or it's raining very heavy. It's very slippery. Some things you don't want to do is a hard stop, or you don't want to accelerate too quickly, because both of those things can make you slide. Same thing for the snow. You do want to go a little bit slower in the snow. They do give road tests in the snow depending on how bad it is, so that's the DMV's judgment. If it's just a little bit of snow on the ground, usually they will still give the road test. If it's coming down in buckets and it's like 6 inches accumulating really fast, they will usually cancel a road test for that, because that becomes a hazard where it's too dangerous for them to be out there driving with you, right? Same thing, I usually bring the same rule of thumb for lessons as well. If it's really, really bad, I'm not going to take the risk and put someone who never drove before, has very little experience out on the road in that. But if it's just a little bit, it's good to have the experience, because especially if they're going to still give you a road test in the same kind of weather conditions, I definitely want my student out there practicing in that, so when the road test happens, if it's like that, they can still pass their road test, okay? So basically, yeah, in inclement weather, a little bit slower than you normally do. You know, take a lot of caution. Don't slam on the brakes too hard, and don't accelerate too fast if you're coming off of a stop or something like that. So I hope that answered any questions about the speed. If you do have any questions, you could please leave it in the comments, and just like, I would actually like your opinion. Do you think you should go err on the side of caution, go a little bit slower, or you should go a little bit faster on your road test? What do you guys think? If you like this video, I would love if you would like and subscribe, and leave a comment like I just said. And if you guys have any questions, you could also email me at datalora@gmail.com. And if you got a lot of value out of this video and you want to leave a donation, I also have a PayPal button set up for the donation. You know, you don't have to do it, but if it's something that you want to do, you know, will support my channel and everything, so I could keep giving you good content and keep making videos very often, okay? And I'm going to try to make a video every week. I don't know if I'm going to make it consistent every week, like the same day every week. I am a little kind of around a place where when I upload my videos, but I will be trying to make one every week. So if you do have a question, you want me to make a future video on it, you can leave a comment, or you can email me like I said. And if you want to get a personal lesson with me, I do work for Ferrari Driving School, and you can currently, at the time of this video, I work for Ferrari Driving School. And if you'd like a lesson, you could call my driving school. I am going to put the phone number in the description of this video, so you could do that. And thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.